somebody that they don't want. But it's letting her go, then we ask, why are you letting her go? Is she fulfilling the right? Yeah, that everything. Then you have to give her a full right and even give her a gift or composition also. No, I'm letting her go because 1, 2, 3, 4 she's failing to do and she is persistent and she's not listening and she's doing that. Then the arbitration will be different now, right? Because I'm letting her go because she's not abiding by her duties as a wife. I am doing everything as a husband, but she's not. If we both are wrong, then the judge sees according to as well. It is justice, it is as I said, common sense. Now on the other side, if the wife wants to leave, she is the one who wants to let her husband go. Then say, okay, why are you letting him go? Oh, because he beats me or abuses or this or that. That's a valid reason. Actually, this is a reason for divorce, and you keep all your rights, and he should be punished as well. No, he is doing everything right, no abuse, nothing, but financially he is not spending. That's a valid reason too. Or he is letting his mom and his dad interfere in my affairs and I cannot live with him. That's a valid reason too. He is not taking care of his children and he is abandoning us and he does not give me my right. That's a valid reason too. He does not give me my physical right or sexual needs or that's a valid reason too. All of those are valid reasons. If he is not fulfilling his duties as a husband, same thing like we said in the beginning. She is not fulfilling her duties as a wife, no rights. Okay? If she's fulfilling some and doing some rights. Okay? Now, if he's the one letting go, if she is fulfilling everything and all, she gives all the rights. He gives all the rights. Same talk about the men. Same talk. You want to leave this relationship. This is your right. With no reason. No reason. I don't want to live with that man again. But what is the reason? No reason. He's a good man and everything, but I want to leave. Or give up everything. And walk, mashallah, life. No problem. But give up everything. Why he has to lose everything? Why you have to walk out? So he does not have a wife, he does not have a caretaker, he does not have everything, has to go start again, and you take everything with you. That's not fair. You get the idea, right? So now, no, he is doing such and such and such. Then we'll see that such and such is his duty, or is, wallahi, no, he married someone else and I cannot live with him. I can't emotionally handle that. That's fine, that's your right. But again, he's not doing anything un-Islamic. So what are you willing to sacrifice for that? Either you walk out and you sit together and talk, what you get, what you not get, and all that. But you cannot say that this is like a crime, and based on it, that you walk out and you make his life miserable, and you take the kids, and you take everything, and he has to be punished for what he did. That doesn't work like that. Okay? Islam respects your emotions, respects your feeling and everything. So we advise that wife to be patient, to be this and that. But if not, then she can ask for divorce and walk out with giving up some or all of her rights. Now it's up to the husband. If he's a good man, this is the wife I spend my life with, this is the mother of my kids, I'll take care of her, take care of the children, even if we're divorced. That's another thing, So always, good people become a must in this kind of disputes. Good people, not general lay person in the community. They make it worse. Even they are good people. When I say good people, it means good, wise people, qualified people who really fear Allah Azza wa Jal and want the best regardless, with each other, which is a priority, or away from each other. Not about marriage or second marriage, but in general, whenever the husband and wife reach to that level, then we should be very, very careful whom we choose to help us with that. Right? Very careful. You need to get someone who fear Allah Azza wa Jal, not biased. Even if someone, that they're going to get you more. This is the person you should keep away. If you know that there is someone who would do some tricks and get you more, that person you should keep away. Because this one is getting you closer to the punishment of Allah. Not closer to. You get benefit, but Allah is not happy. So get someone who will do justice for you or against you. But at least you are not suffering there. You suffer a little bit here, but don't suffer over there. Is that clear, inshallah? So is dispute resolution in marriage, in Islam, it is basically clear, but we make it confusing. We do make it confusing. And people use pressures, different things. The husband wants to push his wife so much so she can give up things. and she pushes him with the kids and people and talk and all that to make him also give up things, which is not right either way. So after that, Allah Azza wa Jal telling us when and when not to give the money to those under the guardianship. If I'm a guardian over 18, it's not going to be forever, you know, I'm the one who's holding the money. So when do I give him his money back or her money back? So that is ayah number 5, if it is following the same subject. If it is not following the same subject, it is general. Means generally, don't give your money to those who are not responsible, those who are irresponsible, spending the money without wisdom, without any account. They just spend money left and right. You give them money, they will just do anything. Like you give kids $100, they will go spend it in silly stuff. Where is the money? Safih, Safih. Safih is the one who does not do the things the right way. That's a Safih. You tell them that, you know, you leave them at the house, they will mess up everything. They will invite all the friends and make a party because you are out. Or they will leave the door open. They will not, you know, care about things. That's called Safih in Arabic. Safih can be a child, can be a man, or can be a woman, can be 60 years old, or doesn't matter. Safih in Arabic, Safa means you don't have the sanity to do things the way it is done. Safih. You know, they take a car, they crash it. You give them another car, they'll crash it again. They will drive reckless. You know what I mean? This mentality is like that. It is not like they are good, but they are unlucky in one aspect. No, in every aspect they are like that. They are that kind of careless person who wants somebody to always take care of them.
It's not like irresponsible?
Yeah, regularly irresponsible, but in everything, in all affairs. Sometimes a person is irresponsible when it comes to people's stuff, but they take care of themselves. You know what I mean? But Safi is the one, their mind is like that. So they are careless in all affairs.
It has to be in all aspects, not just like.
But in the money specifically. And Allah here is talking about the money specifically.
So if he get the money and make a project and
yeah, sometimes a person is good. He prays 5 times and everything. But whenever you give them money, they will just throw it somewhere and they will stay in debt. There are people like that in the community. Right? So they have 5,000 every month. But they live a life of 10,000. So why you live a life of 10,000? Oh, like that. And then they go borrow from this one, this one, and this one, and never pay the debt. Safi. You know, this is Safi. Sometimes even in Islam, if a person who have money, but they are not managing it right, for his family, they have the right to restrict their freedom in spending. It's called Hajr. Hajr, they go to the judge and they take a ruling from the judge that our father or our brother or my son or something like that, they cannot spend the money properly, and here are the proof. He will say, then you are responsible. You have to give them their money to spend. They want to eat, so you're going to be assigned to their money. So they are restricted from their wealth.
So Safa different than Atah?
Atah means mentally ill.
Okay.
But Safa is like he is not responsible in managing money. Money. This is about money, right? It's about money. They are not, they don't have a clue how to manage the money.
How do you spell that, Sheikh?
Safih.
Sin,
Fa, ya, ha. So Allah Azza wa Jalla says, وَلَا تُؤْتُوا السُّفَهَاءَ أَمْوَالَكُمْ الَّتِي جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ قِيَامًا. Now, this ayah can mean one of two things. It's either talking about the one who's a guardian, and those under their guardianship, they are not sane enough to spend the money. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, don't give them the money. Right? As long as they are Safi, means guardianship will continue forever. Right? Because they are Safahat. And here Allah said, Amwalakum. Your money, because he's Safi, means this, you are in control of the money now. So it's like your money.
Not your daughter or
not your own money,
okay.
But it is their money. But Allah said, Amwalahum, did not say their money because they are Safi. You get it? They are not able to control it. So the money now, it's under somebody else as if it is his own money. So Allah Azza wa Jalla says, you are so responsible about that money as if it is yours. Don't give it to them because they're gonna waste it. So this money, consider it as if it is yours. So only give it to those who are able, or you are sure that they are able to manage it right. That's why Allah said amwalakum. Even though it is not your own by possession, but it is your own by management. Okay? So that's one tafsir of this part. Okay? التي جعل الله لكم قياما means you are the one taking care of it, or you are the one in control of it. قيام, like الرجال قوامون على النساء, means the men are the caretakers of the women. جعل الله لكم قياما means Allah make you قيام on it, or قيوم in it means you are the one who is controlling it. Right? So this is the statement here. Don't give the safih the money which is exactly like your own money, but you are the guardian, because they are not able to manage it. It becomes exactly like your money. So you are not going to give your money to somebody you are sure they're going to waste it. So don't give their money, even though it is theirs, but consider it yours. Okay? Consider it yours in that aspect. Not yours means you go eat it, yeah. Right? That aspect, don't give it to them because they are not able. And Allah is the one who assigned you in this. Right. What is the other meaning? The other meaning that this ayah is a new subject. It's not following the guardianship of the yatim. Guardianship of yatim, we talked about it. And another ayah will come later for the yatim. That you have to test them until you know. So they said this ayah has nothing to do with the one before or the one after. This ayah is in general, talking to you about your own wealth, regardless. Right? Your own wealth, Allah give you some money. Okay, I have some money now. And I have a wife, or a daughter, or a son, a brother, or a father. Any one of those can be safir. I'm sorry, no offense. Right? Anyone can be safir. Or a woman who's very wealthy, and she has a husband who does not know how to spend. Right? Or a son who does not know how to spend. So it goes both ways. And whoever owns money, you have wealth with you. Allah says, don't give the person who is a safir. Don't give that money to the person who is a safir. But there is some limitation. Yeah. Allah said, give them only very limited, according to exact need. It would be better to go ahead and pay the bill or do the thing, but don't give them in their hand.
So how do you know if you don't give them?
You have to know. You will know. For sure, you tried them to know that they are safih.
Yeah.
From young age, you know that this child, whenever you give, they save. And this child will spend. And the parent continues. Every time you teach them and all that, until they grew, and they still doing the same. وَلَا تُؤْتُوا السُّفَهَاءَ أَمْوَالَكُمْ الَّتِي جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ قِيَامًا. طبعا this, many sisters will not going to be happy with it. Because that means every husband gives a certain credit card or limit, and the wife goes put him in debt, and she spends extra without need, stuff without need. And the ulama went very strict on this one. Anything that you don't need and you keep buying, that will make you safih ala tool. Yeah, serious. Like that's why I'm saying, sometimes it's not a joke, but culture and customs, it's okay. Alhamdulillah, I'm getting like 200, 300 a year. 3K a year, 300,000 a year. It's okay if my wife spent 50, 60, it's all right. Husband is good, mashallah. I'm afraid that he is the safir,
No, maybe he's doing something.
But sometimes I'm just giving you practical examples. Some people think like that. Some are not going to come here as long as he's happy, she's happy. They have saving, kids are taken care of. You cannot tell them you're spending too much. Because too much is a very relative issue. Sometimes tabdhir or excessiveness for someone who makes 50,000 is different from someone who makes 500,000. Yeah. Okay, so he lives in a certain level. If he goes beyond, then he's tabdhir. But he is saving. He's paying zakah, he's doing sadaqah, he is, mashallah, living in a classy life, and he's saving money. You cannot talk about that. Right? He's doing his duties, he's doing good, and he's living happy, classy life. I cannot tell him, no, you have to leave that house. No, you have to leave that car. I can't do that. This is not my right. This is not my position to do this. May Allah bless them, alhamdulillah. They are giving lots of khair to the community. I cannot tell him, you have to get rid of your wealth so you make us happy, That's not right.
No.
Actually, he should stay like that, and I'll pray for them to be even better. Because the more they are, the more goodness.
Yeah.
That's why I'm always saying that person who is rich, when they have a big house, means the people who mow the grass, more money. The people who come, the maid who comes, more money. So they will help 5, 6, 10, 15 families. So that's fine that they're rich. They are doing their duty. Allah make them rich like that. I am not rich like them. I'm not helping people also like them. I am maybe the one that they help. You see? So that's it's having lots of money or spending to be in a good life is not a bad thing. As long as you are doing it right and you are not transgressing anyone and you're not going excessive according to your standard. So this excessiveness here, this spending, for me is excessive if I do it. Yeah. If I go buy a house in that place and I cannot even put the down payment on it and I get myself in debt and interest and all that, that's haram on me to do it. You understand it? So here that's the issue. If a husband do that, fine. But if a wife is known that she knows her husband's situation, yet she is doing this, Allah said, لا تؤتوا السفهاء أموالكم. You cannot do that. She cannot have that money. And if he lets that money happen while she is putting him deeper and deeper in debt, means he's wrong as well. That's sinful. That's not good. So you understand the repercussions of this? The person has to be wise. Having money does not mean you go unlimited. Okay, like having water doesn't mean you keep spilling it on the ground. So when you have a lot of something, always save, because a day will come that you will need it or somebody else will need it. Yes.
So I have a question. So when we were talking about the inheritance law, we were talking about, so if someone, let's say a drug addict, their portion is still their portion, right?
It's their portion, regardless what they do, but
Right.
sometimes somebody can ask to be able to be guarded to manage that, because he's a drug addict and that's one of the applications.
Okay.
He's going to waste that money. We are not taking the money because we want it for ourselves, but we are helping them against themselves.
Okay, so you have the right to,
Oh, yes.
let's say, put it in a separate trust fund that
Yes.
manage it for
Yes,
him.
absolutely.
right?
And you
Okay.
issue a rule from the court, Hajr, that he will waste his money. It's not like I want it for myself. Some people, they will do that to get the money for themselves. So the guys sin and everything, and they will bring certificates and make them crazy so they can take their money to themselves. That's haram, taba. Because that allows abuse. In our Muslim countries, that allows abuse. Father, he doesn't want to give his wife and the kids the money that they want because he went and married someone else. So the wife and the kids will go to the judge and say, our father became, crazy and we want to do restriction on his thing. So it's more of a punishment. It's not like the guy who is wrong. So that's why you have to do things properly. But you're right. If the person is young or is sick or addicted to something or doing something wrong, then we have the right to restrict his management of the money and somebody becomes the guardian. Yes, ma'am.
So if this man or this guy is addicted or he has any problem and he keep the money, the guardian keep the money. For instance, this man get married and has a children who was able to manage this money. This guardian has to give the money for
Yes.
the kids?
For whoever is able to manage that money for them. That's fine. If his wife is able, he give her the money.
It's not mandatory to give him?
No, it's not mandatory.
He can keep the money.
ولا تؤتوا السفهاء أموالكم التي جعل لكم الله لهم قياما. But وارزقوهم فيها. Give them the rest that they need. واكسوهم, and the clothing that they need. It doesn't mean that oh, you're a safih, I'm not going to give you anything. No. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وارزقوهم فيها واكسوهم وقولوا لهم قولا معروفا. Even you have to speak to them nicely and leniently. You know what? I love you. You know what? It's for your own good. I wish you can do this, and you teach them. Try to change that. So قولوا لهم قولا معروفا. Even. So understand the ruling now?
Yes.
Either this ayah is connected to the yatim, so the yatim I'm the guardian of, he is not able to manage, right? So I still don't give them the money. Or does not relate to the yatim part, but it relates to anybody who is wealthy and responsible about people who are not, in their control over their, their behavior when it comes to money. This is one of the hukm. Then the next ayah comes, Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَبِتَلُوا الْيَتَامَى. وَبِتَلُوا الْيَتَامَى. Now go back to the yatim again. ابتلوا from ابتلاء. ابتلاء means test. Right? ابتلاء. ابتلوا اليتامى means you have to test them. حتى إذا بلغوا النكاح, until they reach the age of marriage, whether men or women, boys or girls. طبعا this is again, as I mentioned last time, it is based on the customs. Now the age of marriage, let's say in Texas, is 18 years old.
Common law.
17 or 16 or 17 with the permission of the guardian. So the age of marriage is 16 and up with conditions, right? 18, no condition. 18 years, boy or girl, they can go get married whenever they want. The judge will officiate the marriage. If they are younger than 18, 16, 17, less than 18, between 16 and 18, they have to get the permission of the guardian. Boy or girl, right? Now under 16, no. Minor. In Texas, right? There are other states which is 15, 16. And there was, until recently, there was 13 or 14 also. Yeah, and 12 in the United States. And that's why those people make issues about that. They don't know the history. They don't read the history. Less than 100 years ago, there were 11 and 12 years old marriage in the United States of America. It's not like anywhere like far away yet. Yeah, so it's 1,000 years ago when we talk about 9 and 10, that's normal, right? If we know 20th century, there was 12 and 13, that means, every 1,000 years, 2 years is okay.
That's right.
So, it's not our subject. But here they said, حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغُوا النِّكَاحَ. And you test them until they reach that level. So you keep testing, meaning if somebody is a businessman and they have, this son of a businessman, he died and he left his son or daughter, and somebody is a guardian, right? Now this money belongs to them, and they're going to manage that business of their deceased dad. Yes? So how is going to test them? Test them according to the wealth. What they're going to do with the wealth? They're going to manage this business. So he has to train them and test. Can they make the negotiations? Can they make a contract? Can they really take that business to the next level? Can they, or are they going to waste it? Because sometimes it happens. The son comes, I'm 18 years old now, give me my stuff back. I go by the court and they give the stuff back. 2 years later, and he is homeless. Why? He went to Las Vegas and he had fun and he spent everything. He comes and sits back and the millions of dollars are gone. While there are people who are, mashallah, business oriented, right? You find the kid when he's 13, 14 and he's going stock market online. Yeah.
Trading.
And trading things and buying these gold coins and saving them and then selling them again. Now you know that this kid can be a good businessman, right? So once he reaches the age of marriage, right? Then you can give them their stuff back, and now you're responsible. Assalamu alaikum, alhamdulillah, may Allah forgive me, and you give them their stuff back. They lose it or they not lose it, that's fine, as long as you made sure that they qualify based on all the circumstances. Now, Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَبِتَلُوا الْيَتَامَى حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغُوا النِّكَاحَ. بَلَغُوا النِّكَاحَ now, as I said, has to go according to the rules and the laws and all of that. What is the age of marriage? So age of marriage here, as I said, 16-year-old in Texas, for example. So the child and the guardian of, he shows signs of maturity. By the time they were 16, I should give them their money back. Of course, the age goes by the lunar calendar, not by the solar calendar. Yeah, everything in Islam has age, it goes by lunar calendar. The woman calculates her period according to lunar calendar. Zakat time is lunar calendar, and it will become very important to know that, because those 11 days different every year, right? It makes between qada and ada. You give the zakat on its time, or you are sinful because you delayed it. Because if the zakat, the money becomes zakatable on, let's say, the 5th day of Muharram. Like today, let's say today is like, let's say the 13th or 14th, the 13th of Muharram, 12 or 13 of Muharram. So now I completed the nisab of zakat. So now I have the minimum zakatable money today. All right? And next year, the same day, if I maintained the same, that's 1 year now. So 2 conditions. I established the minimum and I maintained it for a year. Before the Maghrib of that same day like today, next year, I have to give the zakat. If I delayed it to after Maghrib, I'm sinful like I delayed the salah that came out from its time.
Yes.
So the zakat has to be given, qada, but you are not doing it, you did not obey Allah the way it is. Now if you go by solar calendar, means you delayed it 11 days. Right? You made the hawl 11 days longer. Even if you go same day, you go same day. Today is the 3rd of October. I'm going to give it next year, the 3rd of October. Wrong. Wrong, because this year is longer, right? Yeah. So this year is longer for you. So you have to calculate it by Ramadan, Shawwal, Zulqa'dah, like that. Like many people, they said, every 1st of Ramadan I'm going to give my zakat. That's good. Keep doing that. Because this way you are saving yourself from all the headache.
You have to spend it or you have to allocate it.
What do you mean?
Yeah. For instance, I'm gonna pay my zakah every Ramadan. So I have all the Ramadan, or I have to have specific day.
Have the specific days you cut off time.
And this
And
is
you start
specific day.
spending it 1 month before the end of the year, it's okay. But you don't delay it after the zakah day comes for a month to spend it. You don't do that. Zakah has to be given on the due date.
It has to be spent, not just I take this
Given,
money.
no, given.
Ah.
I can be your wakil. I said I'm going to take your zakah and spend it on the poor. Once I receive it in my hand, خلاص.
I'm done.
I'll take back my time to give it to the poor. That's my duty now. And that's what we do normally. You are not going to go to each poor person and give the zakah. You give it to the masjid or give it to relief or you give it to this, that's fine. Once it goes out from your hand to the wakil of the poor means the one who's receiving it on behalf of the poor person that they said, we are going to deliver your zakat to poor people. Even if they take a year in spending, it's not your business.
Okay.
You give the zakat and they...
I feel my duty.
Now, wait. If I am your wakil, now I am the wakil of the poor. So I am taking the money from you, but my care is them, right? But if I am working for you, so I take it from you to deliver it. So you are the one. I have to deliver it on same day. So am I the wakil of the rich or the wakil of the poor?
The rich.
You have to decide. I'm the wakil of the rich. I have to do exactly what the rich person would do. So there's no difference in here. But if I'm the wakil of the poor, I received it like they received it. So make sure you give your zakat to somebody who is going to deliver it to the poor.
Okay.
Yeah. Not to your accountant, You give it to your accountant has to do exactly what you have to do. Yeah, if it is due upon you on that day, it has to come out from his hand on that day. Yeah.
Okay.
So, this is fiqh issue, it's not small, it's big deal, And that's why lunar calendar, everything. That's why when people fight about Hilal, Ramadan, this and that, I said, you don't know what you're talking about, If you make a mistake, you make up the day, right? But what if you make a mistake in zakat? What if you make a mistake in standing in Arafat? What if you make a mistake in the period of the woman? That's halal and haram, right? Like if a woman is divorced the 3rd time, and then she does not calculate it right. She goes marry someone else, it is zina. Right? So it is kind of like you have to know exactly those days. It's kind of like everything has to be calculated by the lunar calendar. So sometimes the month will be 1 day less. Right? So everything will go according to that. If a woman delivers a baby 1 or 2 days less than the normal time, that the minimum of pregnancy will be only that time, and she delivered the baby 1 week earlier, there is a problem. It's not that guy's child. What if he died on that day, the Maghrib of that day? What if a kid, he reached puberty before Maghrib or after Maghrib? What if a guy accepted Islam, on that day? So there are lots of issues in the fiqh based on sighting of the moon, based on the Maghrib time, based on the Isha time, based on the Dhuhr time, based on what day. So when ابتلوا اليتامى حتى إذا بلغوا النكاح. So سن النكاح, the issue of النكاح, علماء differ. Some of them said it's 15 years standard, 15 years standard, and some of them said it is reaching puberty. Some people will reach puberty at 9. Girls, some girls will get their period at 9, and some boys will be there at 10 or 11 or 12. So if you go by the physical change, physical readiness, then you have to go by the signs, by the physical signs. If you go by the mature, some of them said 15, some of them said even 25. Imam Abu Hanifa said 25 is rushd, you know. Rushd. And once they reach 25, you give it to them. Whether they will lose it, whether they will not lose it, that's an age. When you establish an age, regardless, right? So once they reach that, you give it to them. So that's the age of nikah. ابتلوا اليتامى حتى إذا بلغوا النكاح. You're going to test them and watch them until they reach the age of marriage. Then you give them their stuff. Unless you see that they are safin, then you have to do the other rule, right? But normally, standard, the normal child should give them the thing. You don't know how they're going to do, but you should give it to them. Right? حتى إذا بلغوا فإن آنستم منهم رشدا فادفعوا إليهم أموالهم. الإمام الشافعي, he said رشدا. Rushd means sanity, means wisdom. You know? He said wisdom means صلاح الدين والمال. You find that they are religious, like they are doing their salah. They are not wasting the times for salah. They are they are fine, and they don't spend the money extravagantly, and they are managing it. So testing year, you give them some money and another and a little bit more, and you see what they do, right? You see what they do. then أنستم منهم رشدا فادفعوا إليهم أموالهم. There was an incident that a person, his name is Thabit ibn Rafa'a. Rafa'a is a Sahabi of Rasulullah who died. He was rich and left his son Thabit, young, and the uncle, the brother of Rafa'a, uncle. So the uncle became the guardian over the money. So he comes to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he said, Ya Rasulullah, inna ibn akhi yatimun fi hijri. My nephew is a yatim and my guardianship, under my guardianship. فما يحل لي من ماله ومتى أدفع إليه ماله. What is halal for me from his money that I can take and consume, and when do I give him his wealth back? So Allah Azza wa Jalla gives this ayah. Allah revealed this ayah. Now, alright. So ولا حتى إذا بلغوا النكاح فإن آنستم منهم رشدا, when you find them, they have this ability to spend and all of that. فادفعوا إليهم أموالهم, give them their money. ولا تأكلوها إسرافا وبدارا أن يكبروا. And don't eat that money and don't consume that money إسرافا. You are going extravagant. يعني extravagant. You say, you know what? I'm the guardian over that child, and that child needs a car, so I can take them to school, right? So you can buy them a car from their own money. You can do that. They need a car to go to school. So a nice car, decent car would do. You go get a Rolls Royce, or you get an expensive car. Who's going to be driving that car? You, right? So that's israfan. You are doing something without a need. Now it's not about status or anything. It's about your own comfort and all of that. So be careful. I'm just giving you an example, and now you can go with that example from grocery all the way to where they live and what they drive. Okay? So we're going to buy grocery. Of course, you're going to eat with them because you're going to be cooking for them. You go get the expensive stuff.
Organic food.
You go shop in the whatever. So that's very important to watch this. وَلَا تَأْكُلُوهَا إِسْرَافًا. You are spending without need. وَبِدَارًا. You said, you know what, in 2 years, they're going to take all their wealth back. So let me take as much as I can. وَبِدَارًا يَبْتَدِرْ يعني before there is 2 months left, let me spend as much as I can now. So when they get, I give them as less as I can. So إسرافا وبدارا. Now, somebody will go take a risk in an investment or something like that. Why? You know, like when they are going, because you know, inshallah, 5-6 more years. So I don't want to lose that money. So they're trading carefully, right? The kid is going to take the money next year. They go invest everything. Risk. Because if they lose, they lost the money. I didn't lose anything, right? But you have to be very careful to the last day. You get the example here, right? I'm going to give them the money next year. So let me go invest all this money in that risky thing. If it wins, I take my commission. If it loses, so the kid doesn't take anything. I did not lose my own money, lose his money. So Allah Azza wa Jalla said that Israf from Bidar, and it comes, they become older and take it. Allah said, وَمَنْ كَانَ غَنِيًّا فَلْيَسْتَعْفِفْ. يعني I am rich, I am self-sufficient, I don't need that money. Even that money is going to make me live better. But you know, يَسْتَعْفِفْ. Iffa means you prevent yourself from touching somebody else's right. That's why iffa in morals, like you know, somebody does not go haram in you know morality, man, woman. The iffa, you know, a person is getting married. Why?
Yes.
Because this is iffa, is protect myself from seeking that in another way. So marriage is giving me the iffa. Iffa, a husband may give iffa to his wife, and the wife give iffa to her husband. So they don't look to this anywhere else. Now understand the concept of iffa? Iffa also with money. I have 100, and it is enough for me, but I have access to 1,000. No. I'll make the money, give me the iffa from the 1,000 of others. Yes, I have 100, but 100 is good for me. But that 1,000 is going to corrupt my niyyah and everything. No, I don't want the 1,000. Even though 1,000 is more than 100, right? But 100, alhamdulillah, is making me suffice. Alhamdulillah, I'm content, right? So iffa is not to look to what is in the hand of others and always be content with the little that you have. That is iffa. So Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَمَنْ كَانَ غَنِيًّا فَلْيَسْتَعْفِفْ. يعني you are self-sufficient. This money is more of that kid, right? So yasta'fif is better for you. You don't need that more money. You have enough, manage their wealth, Allah will reward you, give you barakah in your money. If you want to take a salary or something, that's okay. If someone else will manage that money, the way you are managing, putting all these hours, they will take that salary. You can take that salary too. Yeah, it's not an issue, right? But the issue is to take more than you need. وَمَنْ كَانَ غَنِيًّا فَلْيَسْتَعْفِفْ وَمَنْ كَانَ فَقِيرًا, يعني they're needy, their need for a salary, فَلْيَأْكُلْ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. يعني if someone will be hired to manage these millions of that kid, boy or girl, you know, to manage them, and they will take 60,000 a year to manage it, you take 40. See? You take 45, take 50. فَلْيَأْكُلْ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, because now you have a responsibility, right? You have a responsibility, you have to do something for Allah Azza wa Jalla. You have to know that you are doing something for Allah. Because Allah put your guardian over this yatim. Can be your ticket to Jannah, subhanAllah. You take their money and you give it to them, they will be grateful for you for the rest of their life. Actually, most likely, they will not let you go. Most likely, when you are a guardian of someone like that, and they know when they grow up that their money was this much, and by the time they grow it increased, and you are an ameen person, honest person, how they can let you go? Right? You will be an advisor on everything. So it's even your intention is not that. But what I'm trying to say is, it's a very sensitive matter. That's why Allah, if you're afraid, don't do it. If you're afraid, I'm not qualified, I can't be the guardian, find someone else. Right? So it's very important, because if it becomes like an opportunity, then the whole community is lost. When the money of people become an opportunity. You know, I was giving the khutbah, I said, Muhajirin, they give up everything for the sake of Allah. So now they are poor and needy. They go and Ansar offer them everything, like half of their wealth. The Muhajirin said, yeah, it's a good chance. No. They take only what they need until they stand on their feet, and many of them became richer than Ansar themselves. So it goes both ways. I am generous to offer whoever in need, but if I am needy, I only take what I need. But now it's an opportunity. Somebody's going to give me a loan, let me take as much as I can. How are you going to pay the loan? It doesn't matter now. Just take the loan. then we'll think about payment later. Well, it's not like that. You are actually humiliating yourself. Once you take a loan, you have to be very, very, very sincere about paying it back. And this is a big duty, you know, it's a big issue. It's not a small thing. Being in debt is not a small thing. That's why people take opportunity. Free money coming, yalla. It is like ghanima, yani. It's like spoils war. You know, I found something. Oh, this guy is rich. He's not even remembering how much he gives people. People think like that. You know, Sheikh talked to this rich guy. I said, well, give us 10,000, 20,000. I said, well, he's spending money like that? Oh, this is pocket change for him. I said, even it's pocket change for him. Oh, these people travel like, you know, business class and all that, will spend 20,000 in one trip. So, what right does that give you over his money? Nothing. Right? If he doesn't want to spend, is it a duty on him to help you? No. Is he paying his zakat? Yes. He's giving his sadaqah? Yes. Does he have a right to choose where the sadaqah goes? Absolutely. Not you. So, work. Go work and suffer and ask Allah to give you. But automatically your need does not give you a right in his money if he is paying his duty. You get it? But that's a concept of people want to get money. Oh, he's rich and I am poor, so that means he can give me money and forget about it. Why? Why he gives you a handout? Why? That actually will create a lazy, dependent community.
That's right.
That's why I didn't understand it before, but now I understand why a person who's a millionaire and somebody is asking them for $500, they will not give them $500. Why? Because you give them $500, he's going to ask you for another $500, and you will never go work to earn $500. So actually, teaching them to be lazy and non-productive. Okay? So yes, I can help you once, but I'm not going to help you like that. So you have to have a plan, and you have to know how to save and all that. But you're giving 2,000 every month or 1,000 every month. I get 1,000 from here, so I'm not going to work now. 1,000 from here and 500 from that masjid and 200 from that. So I'm staying home and then the money comes together like that. So that's why this concept is not right. From the other side, zakah is not to fulfill the immediate need of people. That's the wrong concept about zakah too. That's why we tell people when you pay zakah, it's better to focus it on some person or not to distribute it to as many people as you think. That's an act of sadaqah. But act of zakah, it should make someone independent. Someone who's dependent, make them independent. So the zakah money, you give it to someone, so next year they don't take zakah anymore. Even if they don't give zakah, but one less person taking zakah in the community. So zakat li-ighna' al-faqir, to make the faqir rich. So someone, they give them the zakat, they start a small business or something, and they don't pay zakat anymore. That should be focused. Better to do that for one person every year than to give the zakat to 100 people and nobody is benefiting. Everybody getting 2 meals, 3 meals, 1 clothes, and that's it. Right? Yeah. So it's very important. That's why I tell people, but you know, it's hard. You know, the organizations and all that, they said you have to choose 5-6 people every year and focus the zakah money on them, so they don't take zakah next year. Which give them from zakah, and they have the card. They go zakah, they go food, they go this, and they continue customer for you for the next 10 years. Okay, so this is a problem. واكسوهم وارزقوهم في اكسوهم وقولوا لهم قولا معروفا وابتلوا اليتامى حتى اذا بلغوا النكاح فان انستم منهم رشدا, when you know the rashid, they are good, فدفعوا إليهم أموالهم وابتلوا اليتامى حتى إذا بلغوا النكاح فإن آنستم منهم رشدا فدفعوا إليهم أموالهم. Alright. So we said that the difference 15 years or they reach puberty or 25. This is up to the society, up to the leadership, up to the government to decide, right? فلا تأكلوها إسرافا وبدارا أن يكبروا من كان غنيا فليستعفف ومن كان فقيرا فليأكل بالمعروف. A person came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and asked him, said, Ya Rasulullah, ليس لي مال. I'm a poor guy. I don't have money. ولي يتيم, but I am the guardian over an orphan. فقال كل من مال يتيمكم غير مسرف ولا مبذر ولا متأثر مالا ومن غير أن تقي مالك أو تفدي مالك من ماله. He gave him 4 advices. He said that you eat from his money and you take what is enough for you. غير مسرف, without extravagance. ولا مبذر, يعني go exceeding the limit. مسرف ولا مبذر, same. يعني don't spend without any control. Don't spend excessively and don't spend without control. ولا متأثل مالا, يعني you are trying to get rid of that money. تأثل المال means you don't, it's careless, يعني you have to invest it in what you know it is right. ومن غير أن تقي مالك من ماله, يعني spend from his money so you can save your own. Spend their money to save your money. So sometimes you want to save the money, so 2 people going for something, instead of sharing the cost, you let that person do. So you are saving your money based on their spending. So don't spend from their money to protect your money. Don't invest their money in something that you know it's going to lose. And don't spend extravagantly. And don't exceed the limit of what is needed. So give them that advice. He said, that's fine. As long as you do that, you can take from his money. No. ومن كان غنيا فليستعفف ومن كان فقيرا فليأكل بالمعروف. إذا دفعتم إليهم أموالهم فأشهدوا عليهم. When you give them the money, there's somebody have to be witness. Just don't give it to them, because there can be a claim that the person gave without giving, or a claim that the person didn't take while they took. So the yatim can say, you know what, I did not take, you did not give me anything. Oh, I gave you yesterday. No, you didn't give me anything. Then it's a problem, right? Or the other person says, I gave him all the money last week. No, you didn't give me anything. I gave him the money. You spend it, you lost it, whatever. So there has to be some witnesses while you are paying that money. Subhanallah, Allah does not leave things open like that. Right? فإذا دفعتم إليهم أموالهم فأشهدوا عليهم وكفى بالله حسيبا. يعني Allah is the one who's going to account you. Allah is the one who is going to calculate things for you. Allah is the one who knows exactly what happens. But still have to have witnesses. And of course witnesses means 2 witnesses. According to Hanafi, they said those witnesses is like a preferable thing, but according to the Malikis and the Shafi'i is wajib. You have to have a witness. So the order here, some said it's order of preference, some said it's order of obligation. Yes.
So if the guardian, for instance, you have a businessman who passed away, and his children, they are underage and has to have a guardian. The guardian, one of the family, his employee, he doesn't know anything about this business. So he can sell it, or he to save the amount of money of the people, or his duty has to generate.
Well, that's your question is based on the assumption that anybody becomes a guardian. Actually, assigning the guardian, he would be the best person to manage the money.
It has to manage it.
Has to manage.
And increase it.
I cannot. So what's the point? The kid cannot manage the money. I put someone who cannot manage the money? No. So I have to find the guardian, even if it's not in the family. The court will assign a guardian who knows how to manage that
the
money.
condition to increase the money for the kids,
Or
not to
protect-
saving.
No, to keep it as it is, or give invest it. Invest it to protect that money. So the whole idea is to protect the money, but not end up eating it. Not end up eating it. So the money left 50,000 or 10,000 or whatever, and I know by the time that kid will grow, if I don't work that money, I'll end up taking that money. So when he comes to 15 years old or so, there is no money, right? Because I spend it to take care of you. But that's not the idea. The idea is, that's why Allah said, وَلَا تَأْكُلُوهَا. And don't eat that money. Even if you are a faqir, try to keep that money protected. So the best way is to invest that money for them. Right? At least they can find the same money. At least. Even though it will be lost some of its value, but still the same money. Because all times, the money was gold and silver, so it will keep its value.
Then,
Even if a person keep it in the safe, and after 10 years give it back to them, it's value.
yeah.
But the value increase, right? Gold or silver. But now, situation is different. So the court assigns someone who can invest that money properly.
Okay, if the guardian is poor, he can take like zakat al-mal from this
Yes, he
money?
Okay.
Oh.
Alright, so وكفى بالله حسيبا. كفى بالله حسيبا. Allah Azza wa Jalla is the one who is the one guardian over all of us, and is the one who will account everybody with their deeds and their actions. طيب, the guardian also, some of the ulama said he does in the money what the father would have done in that money. If there is a debt, he has to pay it. If there is a right for someone, salaries for people, has to do it. So he has to manage the money exactly like what the father would do. And that answers the question, right?
Yeah.
That what the father would do with that money, and pay the zakah of that money. And if there is the wife of the guy, the mother of the child, there is a mother of the child, right? Or the man who died has parents, and he left that wealth, right? He left one son and only. So all the things that the father would have done should continue from that wealth if the person is assigned as a guardian over. As we mentioned, witnesses, it is preferable according to some scholars, and it is a wajib according alhamdulillah to others. Now we come to the next ayah about inheritance, because we talked about somebody who died and left underage, right? Now we're going to talk about he left people who will inherit, and they are adults, right? So somebody died and left money, and he left behind men and women. And when we say men and women, means reached puberty. So it's not men, doesn't have to be 40 years of age. Yeah. When we say men and women, means somebody who reached puberty and they are able to manage the money. So they are not so fat now. Okay? Allah Azza wa Jalla says, لِلْرِجَالِ نَصِيبٌ مِّمَّا تَرَكَ الْوَالِدَانِ وَالْأَقْرَبُونَ وللنساء نصيب مما ترك الوالدان والأقربون مما قل منه أو كثر نصيبا مفروضا وإذا حضر القسمة أولو القربى واليتامى والمساكين فارزقوهم منه وقولوا لهم قولا معروفا. So Allah Azza wa Jalla is saying for men, those inheritors, those heirs that they will inherit, nasib, they have shares. Shares will come later, right? Who takes what? But they have assigned designated shares in the money of the person who died, based on their relation, right? Some people will inherit, some people will not inherit, some people will not inherit because other people there. We'll discuss those when we come to the verses of inheritance. So men has a share, women has a share. That's what Allah says. What their parents died, the children males have a share, the children females have a share. مما قل منه أو كثر, يعني whether it is more or less, left inheritance big or small. Somebody left $10 behind, it has to be divided. Somebody left $10 million, has to be divided. نصيبا مفروضا, نصيبا مفروضا. And there is an issue here that many people sometimes, whenever they come with the inheritance question, and they have these emotional issues between them, and sometimes like that, right? And sometimes there is grievances, sometimes there is issue. And one person said, I don't want my share. Now they think that the division did not come to them. Right? لا, هذا النصيب اسمه نصيب بالغصب. يعني غصب عنك دخل ملكك. يعني against your will, it became your ownership. Against your will. You know what I'm saying? Father died, left behind children. right? The inheritance is divided based on those children. Your share is your possession now. You give it up because it is your possession. Right? Somebody took it from you, it's haram on them because as if they stole something from you. But it will come to you whether you want it or not. It entered your possession. So if it entered your possession and you did not take it, but you will take it within a year, you pay zakah on it also. You see? So it enters your possession. It enters your possession whether you took it or you refused it. So you have to say that I am going to give it to that person. But don't say, no, I'm not going to take it. I don't want to take anything from you. Well, you took it already, right? It's your money. Whether you receive it and do whatever you want with it. Spend it all, give it sadaqah, put it in the masjid donation box, give it to your brother or sister, but you are the one who is doing it. So it became your responsibility. Now if they don't want to give it to you, it is on them. Right? But you have to understand that دخل يعني ذمتك قهرا. يعني this is one of the things, one of the mas'ala in fiqh, that you own money against your will. When somebody dies, your share of the money is yours now. If somebody is refusing to give it to you, they took your money. They are sinful. If you refuse to take it, it is on you. Right? It's your money. You have to own it and then do whatever you want with it. Because you owned it already. So this is done deal. You have to take it. Take that money. You know, this money is mine and I want it to be donated to that. That's fine. So you donated now. You're the one. I want to give this money to you guys. But there is no such a thing like divide without me. There is no such a thing like that. And I'll give you another mas'ala to jog your brain, you know. What if I do that, then I die the same day?
You do
See now?
what? You do what?
Feel your responsibility.
You see now? I wasted my children now. You understand? So now, like, you know, what if father died and he left money? Then I said, you know what, alhamdulillah, I don't have any need. You guys divide on 6 instead of 7. Then I died before they divide. You know, before they do that, I died. Then now my children, what are they going to take? Give us our father. No, the father gave up his right. You see?
Yes.
So that's why when you, and this is one example. There are tens of examples will be based on this. So that's why don't let the emotional grievances, things enter in this. Somebody died, his wealth has to be divided. That's Allah's word. You know, don't say, oh, we just buried our father, we just buried our mother. You guys are eager for the money. No, we are not eager for the money. Let's divide today and get over with this. Right? Get your money. Say, okay, now I identify my wealth. I identify my share. I can do whatever I want. Want to give it back to my mom. I want to give it back to my brother. I want to give it back to my sister. But you have to know what you got, and you say, I have ownership on it. Not necessarily in your pocket, yeah. But I have ownership now. That's my share now. Identified? Alright, tomorrow inshallah I'm going to forward it to you. Next week I'm going to give it to you. Because if you die now, it is your children's right. Okay? And then your spouse have to inherit. And it's going to become more complicated.
Yes.
That's why people, like in our town, they have problems for 100 years.
Yeah.
And it's getting worse by the day. Alright. So you have 3 brothers and 2 sisters. I'm just giving you an example. There, one example. In our family, 3 brothers and 2 sisters. All right. So the father died. The 3 brothers took all the land and everything. Sisters nothing. Okay. All right. Now the brothers have families. Each one have families, and those sisters have families. So each one of them married and they have children. And each one of those married and have children. And they started dying, the 3 brothers, one after the other. Okay? So all their money went where?
To their kids.
And again the women did not take.
Yes.
So twice now.
Yes.
You see twice transgressed.
Yes.
They did not take in the right of their father.
Yes.
And not
So the brothers now have the money, the shares of the 2 sisters among the 3. Now the children of those took everything.
Yes.
Now the sisters did not take in their brothers because they cannot, because the brothers have children. So by law, Islamic law, the sisters don't take in the brother, but they owe them.
of course.
Part of the wealth of the brothers were theirs. So now the children of those those are the enemies of those.
Of course.
Because you know,
You got
our
money.
mother have right with your father, and now you are enjoying this land and wealth. But it's hard now, because instead of between 3 people and 2, it is between 40 people now.
Yes.
Okay? So now, those children now, among themselves, the cousins, they eat each other's thing.
Of course.
Why? Because the women also again prevented. So, first brother who died, he left daughters only. Alright? So the 2 brothers took everything.
Of course.
Okay? Now the 2 brothers, among the 3, they transgressed their 2 sisters, right?
Yeah.
Now those 2 brothers, younger brother, transgressed again their brother by taking
Daughter.
everything
Yeah.
his, and daughters nothing. Now come to the 2 brothers. They have boys and the boys did the same thing like their fathers did.
Of course. They repeat the same problem.
Okay. Now some of those married to some of those, their cousins.
Oh my God.
Yes, could happen.
But you see the zulm, how it is?
Yeah.
Now when I tell you, when you bury the guy, for God's sake come and divide it.
Yes.
Then you can do whatever you want. It is not because you are greedy.
Yes.
Or because you can't wait for 40 days or what. It's not because of that. It is because you don't know who's gonna die and who's gonna change his mind and who's the shaitan gonna whisper and who's good and who's bad. There has to be a majlis, a gathering, bring some sheikhs, write contract, your share is this, your share is this, your share is this, how you guys gonna do it, this house we sell or who's gonna take, who's gonna pay who, finish the deal. It will take few days or few weeks. Write it down, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Khalas. Over the issue and all of us make dua for the guy who died.
Mm.
This is better or we continue the story like I told you now?
No, this is
Yeah, that's too much. And now it becomes very hard to get the right.
Yes.
It's very hard now. Like, you know, who transgressed who? So I, for example, okay, my mom is married to her cousin. But, you know, her father took the right of her mother-in-law and, you know, now her brother is taking her right. Whose right is who now? Whom should I fight now? What should I do now?
You cannot say
If I ask
anything.
my uncle for my mother's right, right? Well, that right that my mom have part of it, her father transgressed also. So whom should I take? What should I take? What should I give? Do you understand? Now, alhamdulillah, I don't need that. But imagine if somebody who's in dire need. What should I do? Whom should I fight now? Should I for my mother's right? Or I give it up because her father transgressed someone or also. But you see the dhulm, how it is.
Yes.
That's how people do things. They don't give the girl, then they end up with the same, with the same, and the same. And then 100 years later, you know that this money have lots of transgression all over it. So whether you take it or you don't take it, it's mushkil. You know, how am I going to feed my children from the money that is a result of a dhulm? So Allah Azza wa Jalla says, لِلرِّجَالِ نَصِيبٌ مِّمَّا تَرَكَ الْوَالِدُ. Nasib. You know, nasib means share. And Allah at the end of the ayah said, نَصِيبًا مَفْرُوضًا. This fard from Allah. And this is one of the ayat that Allah specifically said whose share is what. What does that tell you? It's important. Who takes half? Who takes 1/4? Who takes... And one of the most significant and detailed sciences is the science of inheritance. And not everybody knows it. Rasul said it's the first science that it will be raised from earth. Only few people know it. Well, it's math all over it.
Yeah.
Math. You know, if a man dies and he leaves behind him a wife and a child and the brother and the father and this and that, who takes what? And how are you going to divide it? How you divide inheritance? You don't give that 1/2, here's 1/2. 1/3, here's 1/3. No, not like that. You have to go like math. I have 1/2 means 1/2. And somebody take 1/6, 1/6. And this, so this question would be based on what? On 24 shares?
Yes.
48 shares? 85, 86 shares? 124 shares? What? Right? Then 1/3 is how many shares? And then you have to say the share is equal to what? And who takes what? What if the all the shares consume that and there is someone didn't? Then you have to redo it, right? What if all the shares given, then there is some money left? You have to redo it, right? And who inherits with who? So if I have brothers and I have children, my brothers will not take from my inheritance because I have children. You know, if I have children and I have brothers and sisters, those brothers and sisters will inherit if I don't have children. But when I have children, they will Inherit. Now,
To your mom will
yeah,
inherit.
mom and dad will inherit no matter what. Right? No matter what. If the mom alone, she inherits more. If mom and dad, they take 1/6 each. If I have a wife and I have children, then the wife takes 1/8. If I have 2, they are sharing 1/8. If I have 3, they share in 1/8. 4, they share 1/8. Unlucky, of course, but that's the deal, right? But the children takes also equal, regardless from who. Children will take equal. So this compensates with that. But brothers will not take if the man has children. Now, are those brothers from the same father and mother, or brothers from mother only, brother father only? Key issues, yeah. So the law of inheritance is very tight, and is mentioned in the Quran in detail, and the Sunnah detailed it even more. Like the law of women who are prohibited to be married to. They are mentioned by one, and the Sunnah gives them more. Like the breastfeeding, it prohibits what the blood prohibits. If a woman breastfeeds a child, she becomes like his mother. So her sisters is his maternal aunt. He cannot marry anyone from her sisters. Yes? And her daughters become like his cousins. Right? So her husband become like his father. So if she's a girl, she cannot marry that man either. You understand? And all his brothers become like her paternal also. So it's exactly will make the whole another parallel family like the family of the blood. You have to get it that way. So a woman breastfeed a child, right?
Yes.
Just by breastfeeding a child 3 times and 5 according to others, 3, feedings. Now you created a parallel family to that child. Everything parallel. Who's your husband, who's your father, who's your mother, who's your children, who are this, who are that, then it goes exactly like the same blood thing. So that's detailed as well. So there are things in Quran like that. And the Sunnah of Rasulullah. Among them is the law of inheritance. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, مِمَّا قَلَّ مِنْهُ أَوْ كَثُرَ نَصِيبًا مَفْرُوضًا. نَصِيبًا مَفْرُوضًا. We'll finish this part inshallah because it's very important. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَإِذَا حَضَرَ الْقِسْمَةَ أُولُو الْقُرْبَى, the time of dividing. Qisma means division. And when we are sitting in that majlis I told you, and we're dividing who's taking what and all of that, some of the relatives came. Sat يعني. They know that there is qisma going on. Some people are like that. The family such, they are dividing the inheritance, and that inheritance is in millions. Okay? So your cousins, your relatives, they come, Assalamu alaikum, how are you doing? They know what's going on. Okay? Yeah. We know why they came, they know why they came. They don't have to state it, we don't have to call them out on it. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, وَإِذَا حَضَرَ الْقِسْمَةَ أُولُو الْقُرْبَى, يعني some of your relatives at the time of division. وَالْيَتَامَى, orphans. وَالْمَسَاكِينَ, not relatives at all. Some people came. There is division going on in the house of such and such. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, don't disappoint them. فَارْزُقُوهُمْ مِنْهُ, يعني give them some. Everyone after they take the share, what? Here. Give sadaqat يعني. فَارْزُقُوهُمْ مِنْهُ وَقُولُوا لَهُمْ قَوْلًا مَعْرُوفًا. Said, thank you for coming, Jazakallah khair, make dua for our father, something like that. But don't disappoint them, don't shun them away. So Allah can give barakah in the inheritance that you have. SubhanAllah. You see how Allah is talking about the whole community? It's not your affair only. Like some people, you cook some food, somebody comes and says, Assalamu alaikum, how are you doing? He's just waiting for you to say, come on. Just say it. Don't play like, oh, I know why he's coming. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Can I help you? The food smells good. And that person, normally he doesn't come this side, right? He knows that you're cooking, you slaughtered yesterday, everybody's talking about it, right? Oh, Sheikh slaughtered the cow in front of his house. If somebody that he doesn't come regularly and he comes and tell you Assalamu alaikum, say alaikum salam, fadal. Wrap some meat and give it to them. This common sense Allah wants us to have. So people are not embarrassed and we are not arrogant. When Allah blesses you with something, either you hide or when it is known, khalas, it's public now. So let people have, right? Allah Azza wa Jalla said, give them and tell them good words as well. What about those who are still alive and they're afraid that their children behind them, if I die today, my children are weak, what's going to happen to them and all that? Allah Azza wa Jalla said, besides the money and saving and all of that, you have to fear Allah Azza wa Jalla. وليخشى الذين لو تركوا من خلفهم ذرية ضعافا خافوا عليهم فليتقوا الله. You have to have taqwa to Allah and say the word of truth. And say the word of truth. If you do that, Allah Azza wa Jal will make people protect your children after you, will make people help your children after you, will make barakah in the money that you leave behind you, like that. So, but you have to raise them properly, and you have to do the good things. And this is this ayah is like for those who are sick or in their deathbed or they have a terminal disease. They think like that, right? What I'm going to do now, my children and all of that. Yes, you write the Wasiyyah, you make sure, but you have to be morally right. You have to be Islamically good. You have to be raising the kids right. Your relationship with people have to be right. Why Allah said, they say the good deed. If you are sadiq with everybody and you die, everybody will take care of your children because you were nice with everybody, right? So that's how Allah said, فَلْيَتَّقُوا اللَّهِ, يعني do the halal and avoid the haram, وَلْيَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا, say the word of truth and the good words to everybody. If you are afraid that your kids will suffer after your death, you do that. So you help people and you do the good things. Inshallah, we'll stop here and we will elaborate more on this area. And the following ayat next time.